The High School Sports Beat is brought to you by Alfred State College, where within 6 months of graduating, an astonishing 99% are working or furthering their studies. At Alfred State, they stress project-based learning, where students work on real-world problems and learn how to think, not what to think. Visit alfredstate.edu.
Sports. It's who we are. It's what we do. It's how we roll. It's wins and losses, highs and lows. It's effort, respect, and dedication. The High School Sports Beat. Sports. It's who we are.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the High School Sports Beat, brought to you by Alfred State College. I'm Dave Yates. We begin our look at Section 5 sports this week with our opening story, brought to you by Sticky Lips Barbecue and Juke Joint. Sticky Lips Barbecue Juke Joint, New York State's largest barbecue restaurant right here in Rochester. See our menu and live music calendar at StickyLipsBBQ.com. Sticky Lips BBQ, Jefferson Road in Henrietta. We start this week at Bishop Kearney, where the football team is led by a 9th grade quarterback. Not that you could tell his age from how he plays the game. Here's Tariq Spence with a story of the youngest king.
The Bishop Kearney Rochester Prep football team made their move this year to Class B, meaning tougher competition week in and week out. All the more reason to be impressed by the play of their starting quarterback, 9th grader Azavier Ross.
QB1 right now, his stature is bigger than him right now. He's 13 years of age, and sometimes I forget that he's 13. I have to remind ourselves, our team have to remind, staff have to remind ourselves that he's only 13. He has a huge upside, which he's going to fit into that stature.
It's been a different change because coming from Pop Warner, I've always been like the guy on the team and like the big, and then coming in and having to like work hard and earn the spot on the team. It was definitely different and challenging, but I just put the work in and I prayed and I got the job and it was good.
And there's things that we got to work on, but he has the potential I think he has the potential once he keeps putting the work in that he's doing. I think he can be an outstanding Section 5 player.
Ross has been preparing for this practically his whole life.
Since I was in 5th grade, I always wanted to play quarterback for Kearney.
Oh, really? So this has been like one of the things you've always wanted to do is really play the top number one QB1 at BK.
Yeah, that was my dream.
Okay.
I came to Kearney as a 7th grader, and I didn't play, but I just watched the varsity, and I was playing basketball, and then I met Coach Gauze, and he said, "Do you want an opportunity to possibly play varsity?" And I just jumped on it, and look, I'm here now.
He's a great young man. You can tell he's been raised right. So he's got a very good head on his shoulders. He's very mature for his age. So week to week, we just want to keep seeing him progress. And I think he's done a great job having a growth mindset. He takes every week for what it is. Everything we've thrown at him, he's being able to take it in stride. So I do like what we see.
Bishop Kearney not only has a freshman quarterback that's learning and developing, but a team that's growing. Just ask their coaches about London Benjamin.
She's fierce. Yeah. She's relentless. She's probably everything you want in a player. Actually, you should come check her out. She'll be starting for you prep this game. She's pretty much everything you want a player to be. And with her being a sophomore, she does have more time. And next year, we're pushing for her to actually start on the field next year. But with London and having the multi-dynamic of the age groups in our team, I think, again, next year we'll start to level off. And with players like that who are hungry, it'll help a whole lot. It should be awesome.
I knew this year I was going to be more of a defensive player. Mm-hmm. I was going to be more in line back. I don't really like to be back in like corners or safety position. I'm more of a go-get-it type person. I like to hit.
Okay, all right.
I definitely like to hit.
Okay, all right.
I had to show that I'm not scared. I had to be brave. I had to not be quiet. I had to go out and show what I could do.
What London brings is a lot of internal motivation. And when it comes out, she inspires the other guys around her, her other teammates around her. she's built different. She has a motor that won't stop. She basically, somebody tell her no, she can't do it. You better not tell her no, because she will do it and she will hit you. She's not afraid.
London is doing some things rarely seen in Section 5 and setting a great example for other girls looking to play football.
I honestly would say you could do it. Just gotta keep constant. You can't show your weaknesses. You gotta keep going. Even when it feel like you can't do it, you can do it. Just keep it going.
Team captain Nathan Carter is heading to UConn next fall and running for over 540 yards during the team's first 5 games.
Nate is an unselfish player. Better person than he is a football player, and he's an outstanding football player. But he is encouraging to his teammates. He pushes them. He pushes the whole team, and so he's been a great help, like being a coach on the field.
Bishop Kearney's got a legacy of great players that now you are part of and getting ready to move on to. So what has he basically said to you sort of this season into the team this year?
Well, I think that's what you kind of touched on. He called to leave a legacy, to try to leave a legacy from what I'm doing. And, he says that a lot of young guys are looking up for me, looking up to me, how I carry myself as a young man, how I carry myself on the football field and even outside the football field. So, just creating that atmosphere for the young guys to be able to, follow me and, to kind of mimic me from what I do. So it kind of keeps me focused and keeps my standards high from everything that I'm doing to make sure that those young guys are following a role model that's going to hopefully be successful one day.
With Carter graduating, the torch will be passed on to Ross. What encouragement and words have you said to him going forward as the next sort of leader, QB1 at BK?
Yeah, well, for being a quarterback, a freshman on, varsity level in Class B, it's kind of a hard thing to do. But Xavier's done a tremendous job carrying it the way he has. He's been a leader to, even as a 9th grader, he's been a leader to some of the older guys and even the younger guys who are 8th graders on the team. He carries himself tremendously as a young man, and just like continue to tell him to continue to work hard, continue to do what he's doing, and the future's bright for him.
What have you learned from some of the people that have come back to Kearney and some of the kids that are here and getting ready to go on to the college level like Nate?
What I've learned is the work ethic and the hard work that they put in the classroom and outside of the field. And I learned that when they're waking up 5 o'clock in the morning and going to the weight room, putting the work in, and they're in the classroom studying, and they put the work in on the field, and it shows the results. And they have showed that there's things outside of football besides just playing football.
From Bishop Kearney, this is Tariq Spence for the High School Sports Beat, brought to you by Alfred State College.
Coming up next, Matt Trabold joins us for the Dunkin High School Notebook. We'll have that and more when the High School Sports Beat, brought to you by Alfred State College, returns.
This cinnamon sugar pumpkin latte looks amazing.
Yeah, it's so good.
Yeah, I wish I were this creative.
Oh, I'm not that creative.
Oh, wow. Did you just carve this?
I did, yeah.
Try our new signature latte. It's all things pumpkin at Dunkin.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the High School Sports Beat, brought to you by Alfred State College. I'm Dave Yates. It is time now for the High School Notebook, brought to you by Dunkin. America runs on Dunkin. And joining us once again is Matt Trabold. Matt, always a pleasure to have you here.
Thanks for having me on.
Matt, we're going to talk football this week, and we're talking about that big showdown between East and Wilson. It was what people expected, but East kind of making a statement win right there.
Yeah, statement win's a good way to put it. I think going into week 6, the 3 big statement wins of the season, those top ones, you're talking about East Ridge over Wilson, Wilson over Arcadia by all sorts of touchdowns, and then right off the bat, it was McQuaid over Aquinas. I think that one, East Wilson, East winning by over 3 touchdowns, that deserves to be part of that conversation. And it shows that even though ineligibility issues going on with Seven McGee, the Oregon commit, the big name player, that even without him, they still have the talent to play with anybody. And you mix in with that Freddie Brock, their other FBS commit running back going to UMass. He, start the season, had some trouble in first halves, and the momentum kind of was hurt, even in wins when it comes to the entire team. But the last couple weeks against UPrep and then at Marina Auto Stadium again against Wilson, he was good first half, and I think the team just flourished because of it. And I like McQuaid transfer tight end. He's one of the best jump ball threats in the passing attack in the area. Justice Ross Simmons, he was used, a really good coaching move, you ask me, as a Wildcat quarterback and had a touchdown, played really well. I was really good against Wilson. Let's see what they do. Going forward, they have a couple good quarterbacks that they implement. I think that they could really be a shot for that top 2, not just a top 3, top 4, top 5 in Class A now.
They haven't lost since week 1 against Eastridge, and Eastridge has not lost at all this year. But they've had Eastridge has had their moments where they've looked great and some where they haven't looked so spectacular, including their win last week against Athena. But, I mean, is this a team that you think is legitimately a sectional contender?
Yeah, and Class A is very deep this year. And going in, it seemed like it was going to be deep, but in terms of those teams towards the top, we're not sure how kind of star power across the section there's going to be. But I think Eastridge is definitely that. They're a firm, even with that East win against Wilson, a firm number 1 in Class A, the only team to start 6-0 in terms of the regular season there. And I think what really helps the Lancers is that they have a lot of high-profile guys that are those classic high school football roles of being comfortable playing both sides of the ball and playing it well on top of that. I mean, Sharon Davis, he's the DB. He had a big stop in that Wilson win. He is the starting quarterback. Not the biggest guy out in the field, but I think he makes up for it. And he is so surprisingly powerful on both sides of the ball. And Ruben Torres, coming over from Aquinas, the power running back, he made such a huge difference coming to this season and as it's gone along. He running the football, never gets taken down by the first tackler, and really not by the second tackler as well. I love their guys. They have a lot of guys that have contributed over 2 years, 3 years, like a Matthew Brantley. I like what they have. Let's see what they can do with it.
And I think you're right. They have such a wide array of talent and weapons, and all those teams atop Class A, the ones that we've seen so far, the East, the Wilson, same deal. It's going to be great come postseason time once these teams, when it really comes down to nuts and bolts and really matters. Matt, great stuff as always. Thanks for joining us. We're back with more of the High School Sports Beat brought to you by Alfred State College right after this. Coming up next, the Making the Grade nominee with Kyle O'Gara. And later, East Rochester boys soccer is having a perfect season. We'll have their story when the High School Sports Beat brought to you by Alfred State College returns.
Welcome back, and thank you for watching the High School Sports Beat, brought to you by Alfred State College. Hit the ground running at alfredstate.edu. I'm Kyle O'Gara. Wegmans is a proud supporter of Making the Grade, which highlights the accomplishments of Section 5 student athletes on and off the playing field. Making the Grade this week is Brockport High School senior Merlena DeFonte. Merlena is a swimmer for the Blue Devils and has been on the team since the 8th grade. In 2018, DeFonte won the sectional title for the 200 free relay and qualified for states her sophomore and junior years. In addition to her sectional title, Merlena was also awarded the Monroe County Division III Sportsmanship Award. In the classroom, Merlena upholds a 98.6 average and is part of the National Honor Society. This week, Merlena DeFonte is making the grade. If you have a student in mind for our Making the Grade segment, we want your nominations. Send them into mtg@rocksportsnow.com. And now here's Dave with the McArdles Section 5 Spotlight.
Thanks, Kyle. Here are some of the athletes, teams, and coaches making news in this week's Section 5 Spotlight, brought to you by McArdles in Fairport. Come home to McArdles. Congrats to the Honeoye boys cross-country team for their first place finish at the Burnt Hills Invitational. Senior James Hallett led the way with a 4th place finish. Pittsford men in field hockey are your 2019 Division II champs, finishing division play with a 10-0 record. The Vikings are looking for their 4th straight Section 5 title this year. The Fairport girls tennis team is your Class A1 Section 5 champs, beating Victor 5-2 to take the title. And finally, HFL's Mason Ferrara set a Cougars record with 342 rushing yards, breaking the mark of 270 set in 2001 by Greg Emerson. Ferrara had 31 carries and 4 touchdowns in their 27-16 win over Wayne. Well, coming up next, the Bombers' quest for a Section 5 title and beyond. We'll have their story when the High School Sports Beat, brought to you by Alfred State College, continues.
Michael, he floated one.
Welcome back, and thanks once again for joining us on the High School Sports Beat, brought to you by Alfred State College. I'm Dave Yates. The East Rochester boys soccer team has had a perfect season so far this year, and it's not a surprise to head coach Mike Domm. The former Rhino knew that this could be a big year for the Bombers. Every parent only wants the best for their kids, and for East Rochester coach Mike Domm, being there for his sons Russell and Chuck was the best for all of them. His schedule as a college soccer coach meant lots of time away and lots of time missing his boys' games. But now he's coaching them and has gotten the Bombers off to a perfect start to the season and a perfect way to be with his family.
It's great. I was coaching at Brockport for years, and I'm like, if I keep on coaching at Brockport State, I'm going to miss these guys' best years and my best years. So making that move from Brockport to coming back to East Rochester to coach them was the best thing I ever did. It was fantastic. We've been having so much fun.
It helps when those two siblings get along like these guys do, even if that wasn't always the case.
Me and my brother used to fight a lot more, but we're more peaceful now because we both feed each other and we got a chemistry in that we just love to play with each other in the field. I love my dad. Always tell me new advice and how to be a better player.
They aren't the only ones on the Bomber squad who have become better players, and it all started after losing in last year's sectional finals, a game that gave them the motivation to make sure this year would end differently.
Since our loss to Sodas, every winter we've been working out after school, and we've done winter games, and summer we've had our own summer team, and all this has paid off for us to go 13-0 and strive to do our best.
In the summer, we had a team. We had a goal to build for the next season. Obviously, it was supposed to be fun compared to the varsity season, but we had that goal in mind that we wanted to become one of the best. So
the success this year has been great, but not unexpected. They have been building for this season since most of this group were in 9th grade, cutting their teeth against bigger and stronger opponents, which made them grow up in a hurry.
I did expect success this year. This was supposed to be our year. I've known this whole group since they were in 8th grade. I brought my boys over from Pittsford, and they all gelled very early on. And we've been playing varsity games as the starting freshmen and sophomores, and it's tough. We're playing boys against men. This past year, with all the off-season training, just maturity, just natural growing, they got really strong, really athletic, and they've actually exceeded my expectations how they can do on the field.
Did you see going into the year that you guys could be this successful?
Of course. We trained hard in the off season, and doing stuff in the winter and the spring obviously helped lift our game, just working as a team together. And I feel like, this was expected. This was our year to win sectionals, and I feel like if we can get through Section 5, we can honestly make a great run at states as well.
Now that the regular season is winding down, the real season begins. All the success in the world can go right out the window if you aren't ready for sectionals, but the Bombers feel that they are.
So towards the end of the year, all the teams, they usually start getting more intense, so we always raise our game up, and in practices we're way more intense and we're more focused. We try way harder.
This team has developed a chemistry over the years and through the off-season workouts, and a lot of them feel it's pretty unique, and it's obviously serving them well.
I've always dreamed of having a team that's good and going far and to the highest level of play and stuff like that. But with this group of guys, it's just it's unreal. They're all at a different level than some of the teams we see.
The fact that we don't want to go out early this year, and we don't want to go out with a loss like we did with Sodas last year. We want to go all the way, and we want to be a team this year, not so individual. I think last year a little more individual, and we was trying to find my own goals. Last year I feel like I was a little more individual, so this year we're more of a team, and we want to go all the way.
I've known most of these guys. I've known Mike and Nate for my entire life. Met Chuck and Russ in high school, and I feel like we've grown up together and matured together, and as a team we've just gotten so much better.
For a coach and a father, it's more than that. It's their willingness to put in the work and to play the game the right way that is making such a difference.
Of all the teams I've ever coached, this team just listens and learns. They do exactly what we tell them to do. There's no ego. There's no me first. They just They really just want to win for the team. They want to win for their buddies and their brothers next to them. And it's that common goal with this team that they just want to raise the trophy as a team for all the hard work they've done. That's really kept us on track. There's no not making the pass because I want to have the goal. They make the correct play because they want to be successful, and that's what really sets us apart from, I think, a lot of
teams. At the concession stand, all proceeds support East Rochester Bombers soccer.
The only one! Yeah! Bombers on 3! 1, 2, 3, Bombers!
We'd like to thank our sponsors, especially Alfred State College, for making the Sports Beat possible. We'd also like to thank the athletes, teams, and coaches in Section 5. Thanks for watching. We'll see you again next week.